Hey yo, we're back. Alright, this is my old neighborhood here. This is the church we used to go to. It's the church and all that. People, I was altar server. I altar served at this place for a whole bunch of years. Yeah, it's kind of like the headquarters of all the old people that used to live here, you know. And that's the school I went to over here, St. Michael's. Yeah. I have a memory here that, you know, I don't know if it's a really good memory, but it's a memory, right? That just never leaves me. I always think of it. It's always stuck with me, you know. And I'll explain it here that I was kind of a rough kid in school. You know, I was kind of a rough kid in school. I had my choice of this school or the other school, Imperial, which is just like 2 blocks down. So one was Catholic, one was public. The two schools were sometimes warring with each other, the kids, you know, from one school to the other. You know, so it was kind of a rough neighborhood. Like you couldn't help but be in the war zone at all times around here, you know, because you're either from this school or that school. And if you're from this one, you watched out from the kids from the other one. You know, but that's what made, you know, life as a kid kind of tough growing up. You're always at risk of getting into a fight with somebody that didn't matter what age you were. You know, so back in kindergarten, back in kindergarten here, people were already drawing the lines, you know, of alliances and enemies and stuff already in kindergarten, you know what I mean? So like, I was trying to be buddies with the rest of the kids in kindergarten because I went to play school and I learned a little bit about hanging out with other kids from play school. So when I got here to kindergarten, I kind of knew a little bit about hanging out with people and stuff. So I tried to make friends, and the people I tried making friends with just didn't like me. They stuck to their own little group because I wasn't them, I guess. I was different. And so I got into a fight a lot with usually more than one person. You know, it was usually me against 2 or 3 of them at any good given day, you know. Rarely was it one-on-one. But one day, when I was in grade 1, it came to like, I went from kindergarten into grade 1, and now you're in grade 1, and like, if things weren't heated up a little bit in kindergarten already, by the time you hit grade 1, things are for sure heating up then between you and the colleagues and the people and stuff. So I was usually getting into a fight with Brian Fry and Jeremy. What's his last name? I think I might know it, but I might be wrong, so I won't mention his last name. But it was Brian and Jeremy, usually those 2 guys. And one day at lunch, I think it was lunchtime, they really pissed me off. You know, we're leaving school to go home for lunch and that, or actually it might have been after school. We were just leaving school or something, you know, and Brian and Jeremy were just pissing me off, you know. And so I chased them both down. I chased down Brian, and I roughed him up on the ground. And then I seen Jeremy. He was just running for it, and I was like, all right, man, this time I'm gonna teach you a lesson, man. You want to run from me? You're gonna learn a good lesson, man. I'm gonna teach you a real good one, man. You run, man. You run as fast as you can. And I chased this guy, man. I was going right behind him. I didn't want to catch him. I could have caught him, but I didn't really want to catch him. I wanted him to run faster. and faster and faster. I got that guy running as fast as he possibly could, which is what I wanted. And he came this way, up across the grass here. And when he was cutting across here, I was like, this is exactly what I want. I want him up here, go right across the pavement up here. And when he's going at full speed, like right here, I ran up and I tripped this guy. And he just like, oh man, he hit the pavement and he just slid. It was like a big smack right on the pavement, man. Damn, he hit that pavement hard because he was going so fast. I wanted him to go as fast as he could, so when I trip him, he hits as hard as he could, man. And he did. He hit the ground and he was crying, he was bawling, and I told him, I'm like, yeah, man, you're gonna piss me off, you're gonna make me chase you, man. Make me chase you again. That's what's gonna happen to you, man. Don't you ever make me chase after you again. And I'll really teach you a lesson next time, you know. So that's the memory that I always have here, is tripping Jeremy and making him crash on the steps over there. I don't know, is that a good memory or a bad one? I don't know, it's fun. I just can't ditch, you know. That's what I think of every time I go there. Well, when I go by there, it's just imprinted in my head, that evil. I heard that guy right in front of the church. Like, man, is that bad karma or what? I don't know. This is our old playground here, our old school, St. Michael's. We had a lot of memories here on this playground. Met a lot of fantastic characters, people of all different kinds of type and character, nationalities. We had a Chinese family and kids that were coming here, and they were different. And then we had this girl that came from like Quebec. She knew no English, and she just knew French, and she just cried and cried and cried in class because she didn't know what anybody was saying. When they looked at her, it freaked her out. When people talked, when they spoke, it just made her cry all the time. It was like really hard for her to adapt to society over here. You know, I remember that quite fondly. I also remember Christy, which was like, there's usually, you know, every once in a while in a bunch of kids, you get like this woman, this female that's just abnormally bigger and larger than the rest of the kids. You know, it's just, some females just came out that way, where they're just built like a man, sort of, you know. It's just kind of strange, but Christy was one of them. And she had the ferociousness and the strength of a man too, the determination, because she would get in trouble in school and she would just grab onto her desk and not let go. Man, they would get the principal down there, they'd get all these teachers down there, they'd have to drag her and the desk out of the classroom to get her out of the classroom. You know, she was something else, dude. The memories, you know. I remember Adrian, he was this native kid that was like the most poorest native kid in the neighborhood. You know, and like, he was just different, man. He was so bizarre, this dude. Never met anyone like this guy before. You know, but his parents were really far out there too, a lot of the times. You know, that would kind of explain it. You know, his dad was usually hammered, his mom was usually hammered, and his mom was usually wandering around looking for Adrian all the time, calling his name, Adrian, Adrian, you know, and she'd be wandering around drunk looking for him, you know. And Adrian was one of those crazy kids that he would eat glue. You know what I mean? Like, he'd just grab glue off the table and just eat it like it was food. The weirdest stuff, man. He had snot running down his face like all the time, I think. You know, he never bothered wiping the snot from his face. He always had snot running down his chin and off his face. Weirdest thing, man. No other kid would wander around like him, but he would. And then, you know, we were getting into breakdancing back in the day. And we were out here on the playground, and we were like, hey, Adrian, you know any breakdancing moves? And he's like, oh, yeah, man. I'm the best. I can do head spins. We're like, no way, man. You can do a head spin? Yeah, man, watch this. I can do a head spin. And he'd like put his head in the ground. He'd do like a head spin, but like he didn't do it on the top of his head. He like did it on his forehead. It was like he was looking at the ground while he was spinning his face on it. It was the one of the weirdest things I ever seen, man. You know, he'd get up and he'd think he's a badass breakdancer. He did a few spins on his face in the dirt. Like, wow, man, that guy was awesome, man. Oh, memories, man. Yeah, we had some good times out here on the playground, man. Yeah. How much time we got? We got enough space? Let's put a little more. We'll put another story in here if we can fit one. Right around here we had tires, like great big tires, like big tractor tires. There would be like a great big one right about here. It's gone now, obviously. There was a big tractor tire here. Then we had a smaller medium one here. And then we had another smaller one here, and they kind of just got smaller up to about here, I think. And you know, us kids, we were always looking to get into trouble and mischief, and if it wasn't dangerous, it wasn't worth doing, you know. So we had these tires that were set up here, and these tires were set up here like this for a long time, for years, right? You know, like I was here kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2 came and went, and then we're into like grade 3, and like no one ever plays with these tires here, you know. But after about 2 or 3 years of not doing anything with these tires, we came up with an idea what we could do with these tires here. And, you know, leave it up to us to come up with some of the craziest ideas. You know, so we started playing, you know, instead of King of the Mountain, we played King of the Tires. So, like, the guy that's the champion was on the biggest tire up there, and it was the job of everybody else to, like, try and run up these tires and, like, tackle him and knock him off the top of the tire, the big tire. You know, so like that was our thing. We would sometimes start on a little tire here, and we would just run one tire to the next, get to the medium-sized one, and then jump onto the big one, and we'd be wrestling on the big one. You know, the champion would always be facing this way because they'd be coming up this way. You know, and it was either usually me or Eric that was on the biggest tire. A lot of the times it was Eric that was on the big tire, but if anybody could knock him off, it would be up to me to like knock him off. And then the other kids maybe might stand a better chance of knocking me off than Eric, you know. So I got a lot of cheers on the playground and stuff, you know, and that became our thing, you know, the King of the Tires thing. And it caught on so much that before you knew it, you had the kids in like grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. You had like, because we were having so much fun out here on these tires and everything, you know, and you know, the instructors and adults, they don't know what to do with us, so they just let us do our thing. Then like all the older kids started coming here and wrestling on the tires, and like it was a real spectacle to see. Like over here, you'd have like a big line of like, you'd have like 12 or 13 kids long, all lined up, you know, to have a turn at taking the guy off the big tire up top there. And we loved it. We had a blast. And one of the older kids that used to live here, well, used to go here, lived across the street in the white and gray house over there. And he was from the generations before us. Like when we started here, he was like just finishing high school sort of kind of thing, you know. But he lived there, went here his whole life and everything. He's seen us having so much fun out here that at like a lunchtime or after school, he would come out and wrestle with us kids too. So like, you know, here me and Eric we're in like grade 3 and 4, and we're wrestling this guy that's like practically an adult, you know. And sometimes we would beat this guy, you know. Every once in a while we'd knock him off the tire. And like, that's what made us tough. That's what made us strong. You know, stuff like that, you know. Yeah, so those are some cool stories in that. And maybe we'll have a look around here some more too. All right. Want to do a cut?
Yeah.